Welcome back to the podcast here on the update, and we'll be bringing you guys some more information about fantasy sports this week. So basically, this NFL has seen so many things recently, such as Andrew Luck has recently retired, and another thing is Rob Gronkowski, the former Patriots tight end, revealed how football has hurt his body in a way that's pretty serious, it seems. But this episode is going to be called Running Backs due to we're going to be discussing Lamar Miller, Saquon Barkley, Devonta Freeman, and those are the three running backs we're going to focus on today. And of course, we're going to talk about Andrew Luck and how he's been so good for this Colts team and how we wish him well. Another thing that I would like to turn you guys over to is Andrew Luck's Twitter account, because he writes about like he's some war general or someone in the war and used to write maybe to his mom or his family explaining what's going on in the war. So it's actually interesting Twitter, and I recommend you guys check that out. But basically, Lamar Miller is a running back for the Houston Texans and recently had a torn ACL, so he's out for the season. And I dropped him. I think a day later after I figured out the news. But each time I checked on him, more and more people were dropping him. He's out for the season, so I'll definitely drop him. Which is kind of a bummer because he looked like he had potential, and he was one of my higher draft picks, I remember. But he was a good running back overall. So I encourage you guys to watch preseason games for a new one, or just do some research and finding a running back that can be positive to your team, because Lamar Miller was going to do that for his team. So you need to get a running back who can get yards for you. So let's see. I put Jordan Howard from the Eagles. I moved him up, so he's now playing on my team. He was my backup. Now he's playing. I also picked up Jerick McKinnon, but he's kind of a gamble. And recently, I think he said he's having knee problems again. I picked him up just because the 49ers are having a rebuilding. Then again, I am biased to Bay Area sports teams. But Jerick McKinnon is a gamble. I think literally yesterday as well, they said like he's having knee problems, is probably going to be out for the season, so I might have to drop him again and pick up a new running back. As we move on to another running back, we have Saquon Barkley. I mean, he's healthy. He didn't play last week. He probably won't play that much this week, but he's an extremely good running back, and he's going to get a lot of carries this year for his team, just because the New York Giants don't have really, and I guess maybe a quarterback, you could say. I mean, they have Eli Manning, of course, but they're going to run the ball a lot, because that's how they're going to be able to get yards, touchdowns, and hopefully try winning games. But Saquon Barkley, if you have him, I mean, that was the first overall pick in my draft. That's what ESPN Fantasy recommended. He's just a solid player, and he's gonna help you win games. Now, Devonta Freeman, last week he played very little, about 2 rushes, 3 yards, and a 6-yard catch. So he played for pretty much the opening drive, and that was it for him. He is healthy. He is the Atlanta primary running back, which is always a good sign, because some teams do have multiple different running backs that they use as a supplement and out. There is some talk that I guess he was having knee pains, growing pains, or something like that last year, but supposedly that's not going to be an issue this year, which is hopefully my plan, because he's also my go-to running back. He was also my starter from day one. And then as we move on to Andrew Luck, and he's retired just because he said he's had constant pain or injury, rehab, and then pain and back into playing and then getting hurt again. He's always in this constant cycle, and he doesn't like that. He's a very smart guy, and knows that his body can't take this much longer, and that he has to move on and find something new that will bring him joy every day. The NFL will miss him. I mean, I remember watching him in college, and he was so fun to watch. But you have to understand, this is what is best for him. And T.Y. Hilton is dedicating this season to him. And that's how you know that that's pretty much a real teammate right there. Knowing that he's going to miss this guy who he's super close with, but he understands that Andrew Luck can't keep doing this for his own sake, because he still has a whole life to live. And I mean, this football is a really rough game. And for someone like him who's had constant injury and rehab, he's going to probably continue to be in that cycle if he continue to play. But thank you for this. Thank you for listening to episode 3 of The Update here. If you guys can, send me a message, email, whatever, of where you are listening to these podcasts from. Because I know I have a YouTube channel called The Update. I'm on some other websites. My primary is Anchor. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm really happy I was able to get this podcast done for you guys. I was a little nervous just because the place that I was going to coming up would have pretty much no Wi-Fi, so I don't know if I was going to be able to record and upload, but here we go. I'm going to do it a little early for you guys. Yeah, thanks for listening. Expect a YouTube video coming up soon. And yeah, next week I'll give you guys a hint. Next week it's either going to be wide receivers or tight ends, so expect something about that. So tight end might go for Rob Gronkowski. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.